Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts, Stocks and Crypto TA Livestream. Today is Saturday, March 23rd, 2024. It's just about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go ahead and get started. Today's stream is going to be a little bit shorter. I'm going to try a slightly different format with less stocks and less crypto. But let's go ahead and get started with the news. So, we had a pretty volatile week last week, and this week is going to be more about economic data. For stocks earning releases, we have McCormick, GameStop, Paychex, and Walgreens. Obviously, the two kind of big names, Walgreens and McCormick, and GameStop, the meme stock. For economic data releases, the main important data is the GDP data and the PCE price index, as well as unemployment claims and home sales. Mainly GDP and core PCE, because what that is the core PCE price index is literally the data point for inflation that the Federal Reserve has been monitoring, the main inflation data. So if this is bad, the chances slightly go down of when are we going to get the next rate cut. However, the Federal Reserve said that we are going to get 3 rate cuts this year, probably in the second half of this year, is my opinion. And the GDP as well. Although the FOMC meeting did say that GDP is probably going to grow a little bit, we're going to see how that plays out. FOMC member speech, as well as Fed Chair Powell speaks on next Friday. And we're going to lead off with durable goods and new home sales tomorrow. So it's going to be pretty volatile on those days. Current events and news. As I said earlier, the USA FOMC Federal Reserve is holding interest rates steady at this time. That was announced this past Wednesday. Federal Reserve Chairman also confirmed that 3 interest rate cuts are to come later this year in 2024, and they are still monitoring the inflation data. For news, the USA Department of Justice officially sued Apple, alleging iPhone smartphone monopoly. However, many analysts think that Apple will actually win the lawsuit. Reddit IPO launched this past Thursday, just a few days ago. However, after 2 days, it's still volatile, and I'll show you later, an intraday symmetrical triangle broke to the downside on the second day. So price went down after 2 days. For MJ and crypto, MJ sector had an incredible 1 to 2 weeks, just whopping gains. I long CGC and Tilray, and we'll see if they'll continue to rally. But it happened because of the Germany partial legalization of cannabis, which is EU area in the continent EU, Europe. Technical price support setups as well, and New York approved hundreds of new cannabis licenses, and this all happened in the span of a week. For crypto, the volatility and intraday downtrends continue. Watch out for that head and shoulders on Bitcoin, which I'm going to show, and then I'm going to watch for the next potential support bounce in the future. Interesting thing on the Federal Reserve rally, Chairman was asked a question about the CBDC, that's a central bank digital currency. And he said they are not actively working on the CBDC coin at this time. Also emphasized that both Congress and the president would need to sign off and approve on the retail CBDC coin. They are aware of it. They're currently researching to stay on the frontiers of digital finance on the wholesale side and for payment system side. That's what he said. Just a quick other follow-up note about the Federal Reserve is that 2% inflation goal is still their target. Price stability is their key. And it's going to take longer than expected. 2 years ago, when the interest rate hike started, approximately, their dot plot estimate was 2024, we're going to hit 2%, and that did not come true. That's why I was bearish on this meeting. However, they changed their language to basically just say 2% is their target for interest rates. And basically, it's just going to take a long time. I'm paraphrasing. They're forecasting 2026 for that or further. So it's still their goal. It's just they're not going to hit it this year, obviously. But the big dovish positive news is they confirmed and the Federal Reserve voted on the 3 interest rate cuts to come later this year. Pretty volatile day. All right. Let's get started. S&P 500. Welcome, everybody. Hello to the stock segment. We're going to just do a couple indexes and commodities metals here. S&P 500 is still rallying. We have been in an uptrend for 6 months. It's very, very powerful, strong uptrend. And last week I did say I was short, I was bearish, but because of the FOMC meeting, closed out those positions, immediately opened long positions to capture the next swing or next rally, which is ongoing. The good thing is on a monthly and weekly long-term investing chart, we have good, strong green candles. Okay, not really any scary or bad looking red candles yet. So on the daily, we are at the top of this type of channel. If we draw a support and resistance trend line, you can see it's kind of at the top of that wedge. So the immediate resistance and support resistance, 52.58, and then the support, I'm going to call it all the way down here, 51.72 on the SPX. Okay, this is actually SPX chart, but very similar. And in terms of, is there massive momentum? Not really. So we've been up here so long, so high. If we have a 50-day EMA pullback, that's back to 5,000 S&P 500. And again, we kind of gapped up and then we sold off after the meeting a couple days. And we could see this upside down zigzag pattern, up, down, zigzag pattern. Let's watch out for that. QQQ, NASDAQ. See, we have been consolidating to the side, and we had that little bit of that gap up. But things are starting to get a little bit overbought. And I want to remind people, stocks are highly sensitive to fundamental news and not technical setups. Also, when we're in bull mode, rally uptrend mode, like we are in right now for a year on tech, the bulls are not just going to give up in one day. Something really bad has to happen. And then the chart price will have to consolidate and go sideways for months, or a month at least. And then people will start to think, uh-oh, something bad is happening here. Even this, the cup and handle, that's such a bullish pattern. No one wants to quit that right now in the market. The weekly, we are starting to lose a little bit of momentum just on some profit taking here on the daily. There is a little bit of MACD momentum building. On the H4 chart, the 4-hour, we're still playing this rectangle here on the side, and that's my immediate levels. So I'm just going to put this here. Parallel channel, resistance 446, midline 440, support 433. That's all I need to know. And on the weekly, we still had a green candle, so I'm not really scared about that unless the fundamentals change. Dow Jones was hit a little bit harder. It's a similar story with the DIA. We're still in the golden up cross, so that's a long-term downtrend we're still on the golden up cross, as you can see. Since November 2022, the 50 EMA has stayed above the 200 EMA, the yellow over the red lines on my chart, and we had a massive rally. It's an uptrend. We just hit the relative top resistance of that rising wedge type of that channel, and then we're selling off now just because people are taking their profit. So let's watch the next support level at 391. The big resistance is basically 398 or 400. And on the weekly, there is a little bit of a shooting star here, and you can see just how overextended we got. A little bit overextended. We could see the MACD histogram is losing momentum, but it takes weeks and quite a bit of consolidation to pull back. So whenever that happens, then I'm going to short there. IWM still in the long-term or medium-term golden up cross on the price, but this is popping out of a channel right here and starting to uptrend, up, bounce. This is that dip people are asking about. right? Long-term dip, and then we're trying to rally out of there. Resistance at 208, support at 199. The 20 EMA is 203, something to watch out for. But if I'm really sensitive to it, Dow Jones and Russell 2000 sold off on Friday. And whereas the S&P and NASDAQ actually didn't do that as much. So this is a potential double top right here on the price 208. Just watch for that to fall back down to $200. Okay, gold. Gold as well. Everything is just kind of hitting a resistance point and then pulling back. We can see we had this nice type of sim triangle type of pattern, and then we broke out of that. Nice rally as well, but people are starting to take their profit and getting a little bit nervous here after that FOMC meeting. And it was interesting. Again, FOMC interest announced their 3 interest rate cuts this year, later this year. That's bullish, but then we're so high in the market. That's why it's basically already priced in my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. Because if we don't keep going higher for 1 or 2 weeks, probably already happened. The pricing in. All right, so just watch out for this on gold in that there is a shooting star on the weekly and an inside bar for last week. So there could be some profit taking on gold. If I flip over to silver, piercing red candle on the weekly, there is that golden cross. But remember, if it's going to pull back down to EMAs, that's 2170 and 2125 down here. Just watch out for that. It has to break over the 2350 level. Copper gapping down. Lots of gap downs. This is where I love the gaps updated. And for some reason, it keeps deleting off my chart. But it's probably because I need to make a template. I like neon colors. So it doesn't look like the candle. Very clearly see resistance 2551, agree 2528, 2485. Still in the golden up cross. Quite a big gap right below where we are right now. Up to 2450. Mega piercing. That's halfway into that candle. So that's not really that good for this. For clearer levels, I'm going to draw a Fibonacci retracement, bottom to top. We hit that 50%. It's really hard to see. We hit 382 and 50%. So now we're stuck right here on copper. Let's go quickly to US oil. Oil's still in that golden up cross right here, making higher highs and higher lows. Where's the next higher low area? Somewhere around 75.50. And the energy sector here made a nice bounce here. On the weekly, there's a shooting star. So metals and commodities, including crypto, kind of had a sell-off right now. My interpretation of this is that money is flowing out of certain ETFs like or energy like USO or S&P 500 or Dow Jones, for example, and then it's rotating into some of the younger traders. We're all rotating into MJ Cannabis, some cryptos if there's altcoins, but profit taken on GBTC. I'll talk about that later. But this is something you don't really want to see that, because that means there's some kind of stopping off on the momentum. UNG, natural gas, starting to get a little choppy around here, but still bouncing around the $15 to the $15.75 area. I am just really watching for a potential double bottom. Maybe there's going to be a double bottom inside of the double bottom like this. So whenever natural gas breaks this $16 level, you'll probably see this short squeeze all the way up to 18. Watching for if that happens again. But UNG and USO, they do not respond to technical, so it's all about the fundamentals. We don't need to spend a lot of time on that. All right, and then to wrap up stocks like I'm talking about, let's start with Apple first. And all the huge news happened about the lawsuit, but it's been known for weeks now, for a long time now, that that was going to happen. So it was not a surprise to me. Where's our resistance? Basically $200. Where's our big support? Basically 168, 170. Okay, so these levels here. Let's get the parallel channel. I'm going to mark it here and mark it here. So if you back up and look at Apple, 2023, we had the rally, and this is consolidation textbook. Last time I saw this was on something like Amazon many years ago, a couple years ago, when Amazon started going sideways for almost 1 or 2 years. So maybe that's going to happen to Apple. So what we want to watch out for is bulls are not going to let this thing fall. They don't want this thing to crash. Nobody really does. It's Apple. So the support is defending, resistance, rejecting. And that setup I talked about last time, remember on the 15 or 1 hour of we might get a bounce and a rejection, that's exactly what happened. That happens a lot. This happens a lot in stocks. You get this setup. Bearish, low, high, low, and they make a lower high and then reject down from that. Shorts like to attack this part on the intraday charts. There's something to watch out for. Apple's not really the most beautiful stock anymore. It's because it's not a pure AI play. The Vision Pro is basically AR, augmented reality VR, so it's not like Apple did not create ChatGPT. OpenAI did, and then Microsoft is partnering with them, right? So just pretty tough for Apple to see that. But, it has been, 20, 25 years of having Apple as a dominating force. So just watch out for the big support target. If this turns into a double top M, this could go down negative 17 to like 139 area, but it's probably just going to get stuck in here for a while. But I'm very watching closely that. Any traders watching 168 support very, very closely. All right, we had RDDT as well. Reddit, and if you're a day trader, I day traded this week, made some pretty good profits on this. And again, IPOs, I do not recommend IPOs for any beginner people because it's just too volatile and there's just not enough information on the company or on the charts to really make a meaningful decision. This is more for the advanced to professional traders, in my opinion, who have working strategies and risk management. So that being said, I did trade this for 2 days straight and made some pretty good profits. And this one of my day one entries, that was a day two entry, but day one entry was right here. I went long 47, stop loss just a couple percent. I'll put 1 for now. And sold way up here, right at 50. So that was pretty good, 6.5% gain. And this is a good case study for IPLs because sometimes IPOs get super choppy. And then the second trade happened here in the morning. I think I long 46.04 because this is here, and then I held it for a really long time. We went all the way back to 50, so this was like a 6, 7. You can't see, just go ahead and refresh your screen. This was a 6, 7, 8% play, and then because on the first day we couldn't short on IPO, that's why there's I think a stronger long squeeze or short squeeze here. And then second day, we see more shorting, and then it just kind of crashed at the end of the day. So interesting strategy that I used is, just for reference, is for the first side on this first 5 minute, the first day, I was just all patience, just waiting and watching. And then drawing this is a 2 minute time frame for my entry. And then once, also it got a little oversold for me. And let me take this off. A little oversold for me on the 1 minute, 2 minute. And then I saw the descending wedge breakout and then longed it right there at 47. So it went from the downtrend and it started going to higher highs, higher lows. And then the exit sign for me was it started to lose momentum about in the afternoon, my time. And then we had the MACD down cross here. So we had this as a reversal sign, and the MACD actually up crossed for the entry. You could see it I'll just vertical line it. You can see it right here. Start to uptrend, MACD up cross, RSI momentum is pointing upwards, and held it for as long as I could. And, some people will just scalp and get out on these little red candles. But even on day trading, I've learned over time to try to hold it for longer until I see a real signal. And then we had the head and shoulders. This is a bearish pattern with a clear neckline breakout to the downside, and then I got out before it happened. Actually, I got out at this 50 range because I just didn't look how it's going, losing momentum. You know, MACD down cross with the loss of momentum on RSI, and just get out of there. Take my profit. I'm done with that because it didn't really bounce anymore. Overnight, it turned into a kind of symmetrical triangle, and then it started getting crazy the next day and crash with the correlation with the market. And then I played out same bounce. You have MACD histogram momentum building again, RSI building. You have a break of the previous high, and that's back tested with the MACD open. That's going into a rally, and let's see if you long that here. Let's just see somewhere maybe 46.84 with the 1.5% stop loss. That's 6%, and then when it hits the double top here, and you're starting to lose the momentum, couple down ticks on that MACD histogram, you sell, you get out of there, take profit, done. Crashed, lower high, crashing for the rest of the day because this thing's going to get shorted, and now we're at price of 45.96 in the post market. Market's not open right now. So that's why. If someone doesn't have, for example, that technical analysis, risk management skill set, and you're wondering, well, what do I do? What do I do? I don't understand. Then probably study, learn, paper trade, and practice here more than you trade with real money, in my opinion. This is educational advice. Just click paper trading, connect it. Now it's on. $100,000 starting balance. You have to adjust your settings for commissions and things like that. You can reset your account here. And then in the daytime, you can practice paper trading. If you're at night, practice bar replay and just replay it over and over until you understand what is going on. And just that's how I got better myself. So it's not about speed, it's about accuracy. Okay. That being said, we have a couple requests for stocks, and let's do that and move on to crypto. Hello, on TradingView, I see two. We have three. So let's see. Let's look at it first. This is request. This is not financial advice. Kirby, INFA, and SMLP. Okay, these are all similar except for the SMLP. So SMLP is a gap up, and whenever you have a gap up, it's kind of dangerous because it's either going to stay up there or it's going to pull back. So let's see for when we had the last time we gapped up. Maybe this will happen depending on the earnings, like a double gap up, and then consolidation because it gets so overbought. But their earnings were not really perfect, so I would just play the support and resistance on the left side. Next resistance, $26.68, $30. And then the support is obviously below it, $25.75, $24.76. On a weekly, you can see this thing. The mega target for this is probably in the 40s right here in the short term, right? Because you're high, low, higher, high, and see if it's going to get continuation or not. I also played Micron earnings this week. I'll probably show that, but it only went up like 2% more the next day. So I just took my profit on that because I was just going to do a very, very short swing on those. Maybe I'll show a couple more trades. I was more active than usual this week just because it's kind of a special week because of the volatility in the FOMC. So you see, if we finally have that break, so as a long-term potential, this has some potential, but watch out in case the markets crash, like at the beginning of the stream. If the S&P Dow starts crashing, maybe this one may or may not complete this pattern, even though it looks actually a pretty nice pattern. All right, it's not financial advice. Let's look at the other ones. KEX. KEX. Kirby Corporation, the shipping with how much volume we have. But it's only 563K volume. That's pretty low. If you click SPY, it's 70 million volume. So that's why these are kind of the smaller stocks that more volatile, but it's less liquid. So if I was playing this, I can't put that much funds. I can't put that much capital in here because there's not much liquidity to get out easily without affecting something weird on the level 2 and the price. So this one is still in this high-low uptrend, and we're on the weekly chart. They had their earnings. What was it? decent EPS revenue if you just look at those two top line numbers. Okay, so probably what I would do on this side is see if it's going to break the next resistance, 94.37, 96.69. Do you see some secret levels? I like to just bring up volume profile. To find it, you come to technical. So open up your indicator panel up here. Technicals, profiles. I like visible range, which just means whatever's visible on the chart, it'll show me the volume of the trades, the most traded volume by price on the right side. It only works if you have a lot of visible range inside the chart. So if you just close up here, right, I like to look just as much as possible, at least pandemic, or get something like really low or really high on the charts, and then analyze it. So you can see where it is right now. There's not much, if you know how to read this, it's kind of like volume, but sideways. So there's not much volume of trading up here in the 90 to 100, 120 range, okay? So it just broke out of there. It's kind of no man's land. It's trying to pierce up there right now, and that's something that you want to just watch out for. It is golden upcross, so that's why. I know whoever's requesting this is long, I think trying to go long maybe. It's because golden upcross, so because of that, high, low, high, it's trying to make the next higher high. Although I'm a fan of this, where right after the earnings, there's upside down head and shoulders actually showing momentum that it wants to go up. So if you're going to play a breakout, I mean, that stop loss is just somewhere at like 90. INFA is very similar, but ooh, beautiful chart. What's the volume here? 1 million, okay. That's my minimum criteria for myself, 1 million to 10 million volume. See, volume profile, not much. A lot of people longed and traded about 29. That's about where the IPL started, apparently. So this almost looks like a rounding bottom type of action. And because it's golden crossed, I mean, that stop loss, if I'm an investor, I'd probably put one just way down here, like 10% or something, and try to target to go higher. But in case the market crashes, got to manage the capital, the amount of money in there. Watching on YouTube, but you can't see. Let me check that. Oh, it looks like, did we lose YouTube? That looks fine. Try refreshing your web browser. Sometimes the web browsers just go blank, even for me. So you just have to click that refresh button, or right click, or Control R, or Command R. Should be fine. It happens to, for some reason, it happens to people where it just goes blank. There we go. Okay. So for INFA, that's what I would say here. But just be careful that in case this turns to a cup and handle, because it might, cup and handle, it needs to retrace negative 33% by definition. So somebody could get destroyed on this one if they're like leveraged on this thing. Just watch out for it. All right, let me do Micron. Let me show you. I did a bunch of trades, and they were all profitable this week. The only one that was not profitable for me was Nike earnings, because that was psychotic earnings. I'll show you that. And this is the warning I have for people on earnings. So let's go to Micron. Micron, we had a gap up. And for earnings, I would say it's for intermediate, for advanced traders, only because it's so volatile. But I had 14% profit on Micron this week because I played the earnings. You can see where, actually, you can see where that's not where I longed it. I longed it lower than that. For some reason, this is off. Unlock it. So I basically longed it as it's pumping here. And that's why it's very dangerous, because even if you're on a 1 minute or 2 minute, that happened in like seconds if you were watching. It just boom, 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 right? So that's why, and then somebody tried to destroy everybody by doing a negative 13% liquidity squeeze, clearing out all the level 2 and try to eat up all the, good thing I didn't have my stop loss in there, right? So then I sold the next day, 14%, and I'm out. And then this thing crashed and it never really recovered. So sometimes it just kind of fizzles out like that because of what's happening. So sometimes I don't play earnings that hard. Now, the last warning I'll have for Nike, had a just brutal sell-off. If you were playing Nike earnings, my gosh, that's just another reminder why sometimes earnings is really bad. The volatility, this earnings report was so bad on that day, where first we had decent numbers, very decent top line numbers, and then we sold off on that. Then people said, wait a second, it's okay. Then wait a second, no, the sales in Asia or somewhere, or USA was good, Asia was a little bit down. And then we rallied for a little bit until we had the earnings conference call, and then they said they have the reduced guidance, and then somebody destroyed this stock. I don't know who it was. Could have been an investing firm or a bank or a big institution, but they destroyed that stock. Negative, it was like negative 10%, 12% in a matter of minutes. Absolutely destroyed it. And then we had some short continuation, which I profited off from next day. On the 5-minute, the 15-minute, right here. Went another leg down, just a little bit, and then recovered. Okay, so this is why earnings, I do not recommend earnings for any beginners. If you're going to try it, paper trade it for practice, and you'll very quickly see why I usually don't trade earnings. All right, people asking for crypto. We have a couple questions in the transition here. Hello on YouTube. Someone says, hello. Total beginner here. Any tips you recommend to learn? Question. Books? Interested in crypto trading? Okay. It's a big loaded question. So someone's asking, can we do some Bitcoin? Yes, we can do Bitcoin soon. All right. For anyone who's a beginner who wants to learn, I would actually recommend to study, this is just educational advice. I would recommend to study investing first. Investing first. And there's many good resources here on TradingView. There's also good resources on YouTube. There are good books as well. It's because everyone tries to get into trading because it looks good. Like if you look at this chart, it looks like something's happening here, like it's going up and it's going down. But if you're a real day trader or trader, you know this is not easy. Okay? It is not easy to be a day trader every single day and try to get your profit every single day, because there are many, many forces in the world that are against you always. So trading, the general quote is that 90% of traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days of trading. So in 3 months, somebody could lose all of their money and go bankrupt. That is why I always recommend people to study first, learn first, paper trade for $0 for free. Make all the mistakes in your paper trading first and on the order panel. Learn how to do this. What's a limit order versus a market order versus a stop loss? What does it mean to go long? What does it mean to go short? You need to understand what's a take profit. Now we're talking about the actual trading. So first, if you're here on TradingView and somebody said, I've been paper trading for 2 years and it's, still know nothing, or I'm sure you know something, it's just maybe I understand that. So then I would recommend books about investing or technical analysis. And how I did it was I went to my library. In the USA, there's a bunch of libraries in most major cities. So I just went to the library and I started by learning about business books and like investing. So Warren Buffett was basically the main investing mentor in books for me. And I read his books and other books. Benjamin Graham was his mentor about investing. So almost every professional always tells me to read The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham for investing. Technical analysis books, let me look it up so I don't get the name wrong. I always get his last name wrong. Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John J. Murphy. That was the biggest one. He has over 40 years experience. So, or the Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns by Thomas N. Bulkowski. That was the one I was thinking about. For investing, the late Charlie Munger, his books. William O'Neill, his books on investing. He has good rules on swing trading. I read all those books. And so that's why just getting the knowledge of like a true professional or master is what people probably need. Because if somebody just tries to paper trade from day one, like they don't know what they're doing, basically, like a beginner doesn't know what they're doing. And so they have to learn what is going on and what is right and what is wrong in the market. And what is this candlestick? What is this red? What is this green? There are tutorials on candlesticks. What's the difference between candlesticks and a line? What are all these tools here on the left side? What are all these indicators here on TradingView? There's a lot of them. So there's quite a bit of learning to do, either for investing or trading. And then that's on the chart side. And then if you're actually doing trading side, you have to learn how to do different types of orders and input them. So it's kind of very nerdy in a way. It's kind of very mental, cerebral. It's all in the mind. It's not in your hands. That's what my mentor reminded me. It's not like physical labor at all. There's a lot of mental energy you need, but it's all knowledge, it's all information. So it's like, it's kind of like going to trading or investing university or class. That's how serious I took it. And that's how I got better than I would say most people that I know personally. Because nobody studied charts. Nobody studies investing. People just throw their money in the market and follow like the news. I used to do that a long time ago, but then I said, you know what? Let me just learn what is going on here. And so I'm not like a master professional yet, but in terms of am I profitable? The answer is yes. So I have edge in my own trading and strategies, and you can find it too in yours. It's just people, I never hear anybody say study, right? And nobody wants to hear that. But basically, we don't know what we don't know, right? So for example, a fund manager needs to study for like 5 years or 7 years. How is a beginner gonna even know anything that fund manager who studied for 7 or 10 years? The skill gap is huge, is what I'm saying. I also heard on a podcast from a different trading podcast, that this trader, somehow got an internship learning from one of the best day traders in America at the time. Got a seat right next to him, got to sit right next to him and learn from that best day trader in the USA. And it still took him over 2 years to even get good, while sitting next to and getting mentored by the best trader in the United States, right? So that's how long it takes. Trading is not like a 1 week course, or definitely not a 1 day course. So that's my really long-winded answer, and I'm so passionate about it because it's a long answer because it's very important to learn and have real knowledge, skill, and strategy, so that we're not losing every single trade. Because people forget that we are fighting against, who are we fighting against in the market? We're fighting against AI. We're competing against AI. Who's going to win? The AI is going to win. The algorithms, the trading algorithms, the $1 million, $1 billion algorithms, the $1 billion accounts, we're facing against them. I always like to say that it's like we're getting into the ring with the UFC, MMA heavyweight champions of the world and think we're about to survive that fight. So it's huge learning experience, and it sounds scary, but as long as we're taking steps every week, I was taking steps every day to study at one point and spending whole weekends doing research about the market. And finally, just after many years, it works, right? In terms of consistent profitability. So I just want to encourage you that no matter where you are in your journey, as long as you never quit completely and never give up, you're probably going to eventually succeed in life, hopefully, right? I mean, some people have more innate ability than others. Like some people are math geniuses or coding geniuses. But once somebody quits trading or the market or charting forever, then that's a fail, right? So I encourage people to just keep going no matter how long it takes. But we don't want to lose all our money, so just practice paper trading. That's my super long answer on that. Hopefully somebody got some value from that, especially the books. Oh, let's go to crypto. Try to end here. Crypto. Total market cap. All right, so right off the bat, what I want to caution people is we're getting to the FOMO levels now. We've been in the FOMO levels where once we had this large rally October for past 6 months, what everyone is talking about is, okay, all-time highs. I have to make a chart idea about this after. Is to watch out for the head and shoulders on the daily right now. That's something to be very nervous about. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I've seen this happen before and I've seen it fail before. So sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not. And keep in mind, we're still in the golden up cross. So obviously we're still in the long-term uptrend of investing, which is why I'm not completely scared. But that pattern showing up now and we're losing momentum, people rotating here. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good one. Is that's a bearish play right here. Okay, 2.7 trillion on the resistance, 2.5 trillion. You could see it's already getting cut in half. We have the resistance, and then we have an upside down head and shoulders that's starting to fail. So if it pulls down, next level is 2.2 trillion or 2 trillion. Just watch out for that. We can have a Fibonacci right here, 382 and 1.8 trillion, something to watch out for. Watch out for those levels. But probably we're going to test the 50 EMA here at 2.2 trillion. That's what it looks like to me. On the weekly as well, on the candles, we have an evening star pattern. That's bearish on the weekly. Okay. So understand that we have a lot of, bring up that volume profile. We have a lot of support gap in this blue circle that I've just drawn. Okay. The EMAs are way down here. High, low, high. Where's the next higher low? Could be 1.8 trillion, 1.5 trillion. That's under $60,000 Bitcoin. So just watch out for that if that happens. Now, the intraday people is probably going to bounce because we're so oversold on this 5 minute and it's only Saturday right now. 2 minute, 5 minute, 15 minutes, starting to get that oversold, and we already saw it crash. So low, high, low, probably bounce up, try to get this lower low right here, and we'll flop around here on total. So Bitcoin USD as well. Let me use Bitfinex, clean chart. There we go. Our Bitcoin, where are we right now? We rejected under 74,000 or 73.5K to be exact. The daily still in this mega golden up cross right here and the golden up cross. That's okay. We've pierced down multiple times. How many times? 1, 2, 3 times we tested the 200 EMA. We have not done that on this cycle. We tested the 50 with the upside down head and shoulders, hit that last leg. You can still see on Bitcoin, we have the head and shoulders pattern. If you take an EMA off, it looks really scary. But if you put an EMA on, it's not as scary because you could put a trend line, We just lost that, and we can see clear levels. 60,000, 52, and then 45,000 are the levels it can pierce down to. And if it falls down, worst case, bad case, to the red line, that's back to 44K crypto. But who knows? Maybe in the long term, that could be another dip buying opportunity, right? So let the RSI, the indicators down here, let it reset. Let this momentum fall down and get ready to get back up into this market and get ready for the next leg up when that happens. But I took my profit on many of my crypto swing trades just under the 75 level or to the 70 levels, somewhere in here, because we're stalling. We're stalling. I would have left it if we blasted straight through 70, went to 80, and then hovered around 80. Maybe I would have left it there. 80, and then maybe try to test 90. Then there we go. But because it's hesitating here for the short term, I just decided to take my profit because you can always get deep pullbacks of about like negative 25% on Bitcoin. That would scare a lot of people. Negative 25% right now is $50,000 Bitcoin. So if that happens, just understand that could happen on crypto. So now we have the Fibonacci this high. And if you're wondering what levels of the price there are using Fibonacci retracement, we could do it here, 60, 50, 45. Also use pivots as well. But that evening star pattern, let's see, do we see it on Bitcoin? Ding, ding, ding. Unfortunately, yes, that's a bearish pattern. So over the next 30 days until the halvening, we might actually go down. Okay, because we got really excited about the halvening for 6 months. So it might be a sell the news event. And like I said, for many, many streams now, the past halvening, let me look it up so I get the right date. Let's see here. I think it's 2020. May 2020. Let's rewind. May 2020. That happened after a crash, like right here. All right, somewhere right here. Okay, but you can still see after a halvening, we rallied into it, and then we actually pulled back. So the next halvening before that was 2016. July 9, 2016. Right here. So you can see after a halvening, we have a sell-off. Rally into it. Doesn't this look like what's about to happen right now? Big rally, pullback, maybe a small bounce, and then sell off. But then once it cools down, we must have a mega rally. That's what everybody's hoping for. So that's why if we pull back, I might pick up some more crypto. We pull back, might buy some more crypto. We pull back a lot, buy some more crypto. It's just, I just got to do it for myself, right? I'm not telling people what to do, but for my own account, just buy some more crypto and put a stop loss, let it run for a year or two. That's my plan as an investor. Leverage trading, people got destroyed last week. Longs, unfortunately, very sad. Let's do Ethereum, and then we have a question. Ethereum USD. Ethereum still in the golden up cross here. And we had this large sell-off, 20%, like I said, right? You get these 20, 25%, 15 sell-offs, but sometimes it holds that support. So that's what people are watching for. High, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Are we going to bounce or not? So the three scenarios I'm looking for is we bounce and then reject. So that's a double top into the halvening and sell off into the halvening. Watch out for that resistance at about 4,000. The support level is 3,000 here. So the middle scenario, we can consolidate. If we continue to lose support, then I'll probably pick up Ethereum in the 2,000s range. That's where I'm estimating. Again, bulls do not want to stop. The only way we crash a lot is if we have maybe a minor capitulation or the US government or UK government like bans crypto or something like that. Then we have, or Asia bans crypto, then we have a huge problem. But presuming that's not going to happen right now because, why? Because the US SEC approved 10 Bitcoin ETFs. Now we're seeing other governments, including UK, trying to do the same. So in the long term, I still think we're going to go up long term. We just have to finish whatever this pullback is, get it done, and establish the next level of support so we get the next rally going on. You can see high, low, high. Where's the next low? 2,500 approximately, perhaps. If you have a crypto request, just let me know now. I'm probably going to end in about 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, we have a question from TradingView. Can I explain how much money I actually need on my first account and how leverage on TV or how leverage works? Okay, I'm not going to explain how leverage works because there are many videos on that. And even this question is more for a like a financial advisor for you. That's what I would recommend because I am a investor and analyst. So I don't so I don't actually trade using the TradingView system, but I can do a little bit of paper trade example. But the first half of your question about how much money you need, I would recommend talking to a professional financial advisor because I did too. And they get some pretty decent advice. So let's see here. A fund manager once taught me, let's do the math, right? So if you're curious, and let's try to focus on facts. So let me bring up a calculator. Okay, so if you study the stock market, we know that this is based upon historical data. The average stock market return is about 8%, maybe up to 10%. Let's just say at a high 10%, right? So if you just throw your money into the stock market and leave it in there for 50 years, you'll probably eventually make 10% a year on average if the market keeps going up. Warren Buffett taught us that. The books tell us that. You could verify that data for yourself as well. So if you have a $10,000 account and you're making 10% a year, that's $1,000 a year. Now, for some people, that's a lot. In some countries, that's a lot of USD money. In other countries, in the in the USA, that's not that much, right? Your regular job, if you have a decent job or good paying job, is more than that. So if you have $100,000 account and then you get 10% a year, you make $10,000 a year, which is decent, right? If you have $1 million account, you make 10% a year, you make $100,000 a year, which that's good money, right? For investment. So that's how I'll explain it to you. If you only have $1,000 account and you're making 10% every year, you only make $100 a year. Somebody could probably make more working like on a Saturday part-time job or another online business doing that. So there's a certain level where it's just like risk to reward. You're putting in so much time. How much profit could you get back? What's the expected return of an investor? That's where I would point you to a financial advisor on that. And then that's not even including trading strategies or trading profitability. And again, 90% of traders lose money. So even if someone starts with $1,000, they're probably going to lose 900 of those dollars in a year. Okay. So I'll just leave it there. Talk to a professional financial advisor. And then for the trading side, because I can't answer every question, but in my opinion, I don't think there is leverage on TradingView. I've never seen it before, unless I'm mistaken. So it's just regular. It's basically just regular non-leveraged trading here on TradingView. That's a question for TradingView itself, because I don't do leverage trading on TradingView, so I've never seen it myself. But if somebody else wants to answer that, feel free, or I would just contact TradingView support for that. Okay, let me do a couple more cryptos, like a little bit more, and then we'll do, somebody has Optimus request. So let's go to Binance Coin. I'll try to speed up for these last ones. Let's do the last one here. Binance Coin, $600, $700 resistance. Support is about 500. And so this upside down head and shoulders is about 25%. We went way above that target, right? So just something to watch out for. Are we going to get this lower high bounce like this around the 550 area? And just want to watch out for that. Hangman candle on the weekly is weak. Watch out for that. Solana and Solana, USDT. Let's go to KuCoin. Feel like using KuCoin chart today. Is same thing. The Bitcoin correlations. This looks exactly like Bitcoin. So somebody's algorithm is just playing the market right here. Literally, correlations abound everywhere. On the weekly, piercing candle, and this was supposed to be one of these types of triangles, right? And watch out for this. Support to resistance, draw trend lines, draw resistance points, draw another trend line steep. It went parabolic. So probably 157, 130. If it gets to 100 Solana, people are going to start to get scared about that. But that's the levels that we're seeing here. Something to watch out for. We are still in the golden cross EMA, but the MACD is crossed down. So beware if you're a Solana holder in the short term. If you're long term, hopefully we'll end up on the moon on that one. But in the short term, just want to beware because the charts are conflicting. And when it starts conflicting, that means people have started to take their profit. The day traders got out. Swing traders may be moving their stop losses up to try to capture the profit, where investors are trying to hodl for a long term because of the golden cross. But on Cardano, right here, high, low, high. Where's the next higher low? And then maybe 6 months from now, we'll try to hit the dollar area. Goes up in waves like that. But there is bearish momentum on the short term. This is where that conflicting happens. Long term, I'm still bullish on it, but short term looks like it wants to pierce down maybe to 50 cents or 57 cents. Something to watch out for on Cardano. The good thing is the weekly golden cross. So as long as we stay above 45 cents long term, it's actually okay. It's actually okay. This is turning into a giant cup and handle type of pattern like this. And so if this is a real cup and handle pattern, we should go the full length of the cup, which is about 160 to 320%, which should take us eventually to $1.55 or even 320 all-time highs, maybe even higher if Bitcoin doesn't stop rallying. If Bitcoin stops rallying, we might be over for this year at least. But the golden crosses are still alive, so my hope is still alive because I know when the golden cross is alive and it didn't cross down yet, there's a higher chance it's just going to be a pullback. Once the RSI purple oversold down here resets, we're just going to buy it again. Let's go. Where's my next list? XRP. XRP still in this rising wedge pattern. It's pretty choppy. Not much news coming up for XRP, so not much to pump about or get excited about. Excuse me, not pump, but the price is not pumping because there's not much news. So not much to get excited about, right? So high, low, high, low. It's actually starting to consolidate, almost a little bit weaker like that, right? So if it's going to break, it has to go 50, 60% back up to $1. And once that happens, people are going to really get excited about that. Coin, AVAX as well. I'm on a weekly chart, by the way. I'm going a lot faster. Starting to get bearish momentum, but looks like hopefully we try to get a longer term bounce. Daily still intact. Last time we had MACD cross, it actually pulled back 33% or more. So if that happens again, maybe we're going back down to about $33 AVAX before the next bounce occurs. Triple top as well on the price. DOT also pulled back. You can see the MACD starting to form. It's not quite ready to go. When a MACD histogram, the red, looks like this. I can see the shades of pink. I don't know if you can see it, but if shades of pink, that's not really formed yet. you need the big mountain to form and an up cross, and then the algorithms and the people are saying, okay, it's a little bit safer now to get into it. Right now, it's in the middle of its downtrend move. Not touching that yet as a swing trader. Doge is different with the huge dog Doge emoji. Doge had an upside down head and shoulders and it's bouncing further and faster. So hit the 50 EMA right about 13 cents or below it and bouncing back 30%. Beautiful. Beautiful trade. That's what you want to see. Now watch out for, we had Doji. It's basically like two inside bars at once. And so we bounce off of that. So if we're not going to get continuation, we could get a double top in the price and RSI and then pull back one more time unless it breaks out to the upside. Shiba Inu is very similar. I've been long this for a long time now, but on the weekly hangman candle, we could see selling off. That would turn to the evening star just like Bitcoin, and then we crash on that. I'm still probably going to hold it though, because these little meme dog coins, they sometimes they really pump, right? So we haven't had the big SHIB pump yet, and this could be a consolidation pattern. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna go something at Optimus Prime. Let's go. Optimus AI. All right, this trading view chart, I believe. Opti USD. There's not much price history on this chart, but clearly you could see here, where's the resistance? Right at about 55 cents to 60 cents. Where's the long mega support, which it's probably never going to go down there for a while? 7 cents. The halfway line between that. Halfway line about 23 cents. Mark that on the chart. And then we'll get some trend lines. Now we're talking, right? We'll box this thing in, box the top in for the resistance. Now you can see what's happening. High, low, it crashed. We had a head and shoulders here pattern, bearish pattern. We see if this support holds right here to X marks the spot at 25 cents. If that holds and Bitcoin doesn't crash, maybe this has a chance to bounce up one more time to about 61 cents. But if it breaks, retests, and then fails like that, you could bounce or drop down to mid 15 or 10 cents. So this big circle is something to be cautious about, because this is a very small coin. Not everybody plays it. Even I don't play this one. And just be careful, because what happens with crypto, and I'm not bashing on anyone's trade or anything. I'm just saying in general, maybe I should take it off this chart. Let me just go to something random down here, like one of the lower ones. Like OXT or something really small, like this NMR with only 2,000 volume, 2,000 volume, meaning nobody's trading this, right? Watch out for those really, really small baby coins, I call it, because they look like something's happening. And you're like, oh, it's short, small price, like TLM or something like that. It's really small priced. But then pay attention to the volume so you can actually exit and get out of there. That's why I only stick to the top like 10 or 20 coins, because I need volume. I like volume. For example, this is not actually totally 100% correct, but like Cardano, you're getting like 1 million volume, right? That's good. XRP, 5.92 million volume. It depends on what exchange you're at. Right? Doge, 125 million trading volume. So that's why a lot of people like the millions of volume, because you can easily get out or get in. There's liquidity and the spread is smaller. The distance between the bid buyers and the ask sellers. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap it up here. I'll maybe just end on MJ. I forgot to do that. So MJ, I'm not long there. MJ, what I want to point out to people is, yes, cannabis is illegal in many parts of the world. In America, about maybe up to half of the states have partial or if not legalized marijuana, cannabis. I'm not going to talk about the morality or ethics of it. I'm just talking about the stock chart part of it. There's an MJ ETF. The only reason I'm bringing it up is that it's very oversold on the weekly and a monthly chart. And on a monthly chart, it actually had a double bottom right here. It had a double bottom, right? The strong level of support, which means like maybe 5 years from now, I don't know, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, because it took us 10 years to get down here. It took us 6 years to go from the top of 2018 hype all the way back down to the bottom. We had a little bit of bounce here. We had a double bottom here. See, we might get this circle again. History might repeat itself on a little bit of legalization news. Okay, 635 or something like that might be the target. But if this is the big one and we continue to see legalizations in many countries or states and cities, is maybe this is the big one. We'll go up to like 14 or something like that, right? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. CGC as well, okay, on a monthly has a double bottom. So I start to buy CGC again because if just in case this is the big one, right? Just in case, if it gets stopped out, no matter, who cares? But I like this bullish divergence here, and this is kind of late. I should have talked about this last week. And shout out to one of the TradingView followers who pointed this out to me about the MJ sector. She asked me about it she asked me about it 2 months ago, almost 1.5 months ago, and that was actually the perfect spot to buy that double bottom. But I'm still long this right now. We might see a pullback, but I'm talking about long-term investment because I'm an investor. You can see that if it goes up 100%, 200, 300, 500, 10x, 25x, if it's going to do that, I'm going to be really glad that I bought now, 5 years from now. So just watch out for that. And there's other ones. There's Cron, although it's kind of a bad spot to show you because it already went up so high, but it did bounce off this lower support line. And it's in its own little mini channel right now. Their earnings might not be that great. But again, if we reach anywhere near the all-time highs, that's like 500 to 1,000%. Tilray, the other one, Tilray had a triple bottom, which is why I'm thinking a double bottom. This one might be the real one. Hopefully, look how far it crashed at $2. Even if it goes up like 200, it could go 800, maybe 1,500%. ACB, the new Aurora Cannabis, in a downward wedge, just bounced off of that right here. And so this is not financial advice. The call is actually pretty late, to be honest. But I'm talking about super long-term investment. If more states, more countries just keep legalizing or partially legalizing marijuana, and these are the only 4 or 5 big companies, probably it's going to go up. Probably. Right? There's 10x in here, there's 500%, maybe even 50x. I don't know about that. But if it is, this could be my greatest investment ever if it goes 50x. So I might need to pick some up next week or in the next pullback. Just watch it for that. Again, this is not financial advice, just educational examples for charts. Okay, everybody, I think that's going to do it for the stream today. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for following and watching. I am streaming live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch. We have an X group as well. And I'll try to put up maybe 1 or 2 trade ideas from about Bitcoin and the S&P 500 today. If you like the stream, if you learned something or anything, go ahead and drop me a follow. Give me a follow, like on any of these platforms. And I usually stream on weekends, usually on a Sunday, but today I had to do it earlier this weekend. So next stream, I'm probably going to see you on the maybe the 30th or the April 1st, or I don't know. That weekend is kind of busy in America, so we'll see. 29, 30, 31, or 4, one of those, most likely the 30th, right in the middle of that weekend. So thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a good one. Remember, risk management and paper trading, studying, learning is the key. And as long as we're taking steps, one step every day or every week, Charlie Munger said, go to sleep a little wiser than you were yesterday. So hope you have a good one. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.